Allah mentions in Surah Tawbah, after he mentioned the story of the Prophet ﷺ being in the cave with Abu Bakr, he said, "La tahzan inna Allah ma'ana." And then he says, وَجَعَلَ كَلِمَةَ الْكُفْرِ سُفْلَى وَكَلِمَةُ اللَّهِ هِيَ الْعُلْيَا. He said Allah made the statement of disbelief the lowest, but the statement of Allah is the highest. Okay? So, for jihad, it should just be to make Allah's name the highest. Not should be, oh, this person is brave or courageous, or this person is super smart or can learn with us. For the statement of Allah to be the highest. ثم قال عليه الصلاة والسلام وإذا استنفروا فانفروا يعلم إذا استنفركم ولي أمركم للجهاد في سبيل الله فانفروا وجوبا. Okay, and then the Prophet said, when you're called to go to jihad, and that means when the leader respond, the rest of them they don't have to respond. I'm looking upon the community. But just like that's how jihad is. But if the Muslim leader appoints this person and this person, this person, they have to go, and it becomes individual, then it becomes obligatory upon the individuals. Okay. And he says, إذا استنفر الناس للجهاد وجب عليهم أن ينفروا وألا يختلف أحد إلا من عذره الله سبحانه وتعالى. He said when the people are called to go to jihad, it is obligatory upon them for them to go, and no one is allowed to stay back except for people who Allah has given them an excuse, such as a person who may be blind or the amputee, sick. Okay. Yeah, a person disabled, or maybe even if a person is like the community needs him, like he has to be there, such as like a sheikh or like an imam, he might have to say. يقول الله تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا ما لكم إذا قيل لكم انفروا في سبيل الله استثقلتم من الأرض. That's because due to the statement of Allah where He says, "O those of you who believe, what is wrong with you when you were called to go to jihad? استثقلتم من الأرض, like you were like stuck to the earth, like the earth is holding you down." And He said, أرضيتم بالحياة الدنيا من الآخرة? Are you pleased with the dunya over the akhirah? You go to jihad, you go and fight, you're going to be fighting for yourself, you can pass away and die. فما متاع الحياة الدنيا في الآخرة إلا قليل. And he said the pleasure of this world compared to the akhirah is only low. إلا تنفروا يعذبكم عذابا أليما ويستبدل قوما غيركم لا تضروه شيئا. He said if you don't go, Allah will punish you a painful punishment, and He's going to replace you with other people, and that won't harm Allah in any way. Okay, so if we don't go to jihad, if we are ordered to go to jihad and you don't go, it will be a mean punishment, and then Allah will just replace us with other people.
Like we here, we are not commanded to go to jihad. How this is going to apply on us? Just to explain this a little bit for our own community here.
Well, again, like I said, jihad doesn't necessarily have to be fighting. It doesn't have to be with a sword or fighting. It can be learning, teaching, expressing Islam. These are all forms of jihad. Because jihad, coming to the salah, ordering people to do good, stopping them from all of this is forms of jihad. It's forms of striving to do better, make the community better, make the people better. All of these things is things that is obligatory upon the community of the Muslims. Right. But for the people that are in charge or people that are like looked to, they also have to do it. It's on a higher level for them.
Because you did mention that jihad is to raise the name of Allah.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's not.
So if you did not do it, you see, these people were dying for this religion. They were dying for this religion for us. They died. We are not called to die for our religion. They just call us to wake up in the morning, come for Salatul Fajr. And we cannot come. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave a threat here. He said, if you did not come, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will wipe you out and bring other people. That's what He says at the end of the ayah, right? وَيَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا خَيْرَكُمْ وَلَا تَضُرُّهُ شَيْئًا. And you cannot even do nothing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah doesn't need you.
No, like,
yes.
But the disbelievers, they talking about fighting. Not really want to learn anything or be taught anything. The disbelievers is like, we're gonna fight you. It's like that.
Yeah, that's what they understood.
Yes.
Clearly, what the ayah is saying is that, but that one is during war, at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. But for us right now, we are not obligated to do that.
Oh, okay.
Nobody is fighting Islam. You see, nobody is fighting Islam right now. So we cannot consider this ayah to that. That's why the ayah did not mention any name, any event. This is during the Prophet ﷺ. This is telling you the jihad which we have right now, is jihadun nafs. We have to fight our soul against our own soul. So people are called to come to classes to learn, we're refusing to come. And people are called every single day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling you 5 times to come to prayer, and you're refusing. This is jihadun nafs. It's to fight your own soul. So if you refuse that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove you and bring other people. And you cannot harm Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what he's saying in the ayah. Look at the ayah very carefully. You have to look at the ayah very carefully. So it's very wide. The Quran is an ocean. You have to dive inside to know how deep is the Quran. This is not only to fight, to go to war. No. The war at that time, you see here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, ma lakum idha qila lakum firu fi sabilillah, athaqaltum fil ard, ila al-ardi araditum bil hayati dunya min al-akhirah. فما متاع الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع إلا قليل. So when you are called, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling you every single day. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala, you stick to your bed. It's the same thing. أقلتم إلى الأرض. So you, how you said it again? You stuck to the earth, like you cannot, the earth is not, it cannot leave you to go. You don't want to leave your bed, you don't want to leave your house, you don't want to come to prayer. Do you want to go to sleep? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, as-salatu khayrun minan nawm, and you're still sleeping. Your bed is holding you up. You don't want to leave it. I will tell you this what you are doing is too little for you in the akhirah. But compared to the akhirah. The akhirah is forever. Right? Sorry for holding you down.
No.
So this
I
ayah,
just
it
wanted to
doesn't say
understand-
only to fight.
I just wanted to understand.
Yeah, you have to fight yourself. The biggest jihad we have is to fight your own soul. It's not to fight another one. We are not, nobody is oppressing us. Nobody is telling us we cannot worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way we want. Nobody is stopping us to talk about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to spread Islam. Nobody is telling us. They want to hear from us. They want to hear from us. So we are not obligated to fight. We are obligated to fight our own souls. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling us, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe, ma lakum idha qila lakum anfiru fi sabilillah, athaqaltum ila al-ardi araditum bil hayati dunya. Why you are called, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling you every single time, come. You refuse to come. Why are you sticking to the earth? You don't want to come to the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Well, even
If you don't come, Allah will change you. Allah will take you away and bring other people. And you can now harm Allah.
Even if it's a fight, most of the fight that's happening now is not for Allah. It's mostly political. And many people think that I have to, because this Muslims are fighting, so I have to fight. So we have to be careful, because if it's not for Allah, it's not to exalt Allah's name. Then,
That's not jihad.
yeah, it's not jihad. Because even in Badr, the Prophet excluded Uthman ibn Affan because the wife was sick. The Prophet told him, no, you don't have to go. But that was jihad.
Yeah,
Badr
that
was
was
jihad.
that battle. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and Imam Nawawi says, وَهَذَا أَحْدُ الْمَوَاضِعِ الَّتِي يَكُونُ فِيهَا الْجِهَادُ فَضْلًا عَنْهُ. He said this is one of the ways, this is one of the times where jihad will be an individual obligation. Okay, now he's going to mention more times where jihad is an individual obligation. So,
Of all what we said, you can see it here. You see.
he says, الموضع الثاني إذا حصر العدو بلدة. He said the second way is when the enemy comes in, they surround the place. They what is it called?
With the siege.
Yeah, they besiege a place. And he says, they جاء العدو حتى وصل إلى البلد وحصر البلد صار جهاد فرض عين. He says when the enemy comes in, they come and they surround the place and they besiege the place, then jihad becomes an individual obligation for all of the people that are inside of that place. For example, say we had enemies around Masjid and they came and surrounded us, it would be obligatory for all of us inside of here to fight.
Fight.
That's just for an example. وجب على كل أحد أن يقاتل حتى على النساء. And it's obligatory for every person to fight, even upon the women.
Right.
Even upon the women that are inside, it's upon them to fight. حتى على النساء والشيوخ والقادرين على هذه الحال. Is obligatory even upon the women, والشيوخ, even the old people, والقادرين في هذه الحال, and any person who is able to fight. Even if it's like a young child, maybe 13, 14, 15 years old, even them, they're going to have to fight if they're able to. لأن هذا قتال دفاع, because this is a fighting of defense. Yes, you're defending your land. You're defending your land. So not every person that is inside of this besiegement, they have to fight to remove and get rid of the siege. Because obviously, if they stay there, then they're not going to have any imports coming in, and all going to die from hunger or anything. وفرق بين قتال الدفاع وقتال الطلب، فيجب على هذا الحال أن ينفر الناس كلهم للدفاع عن بلدهم. And he said there's a difference between defense, like fighting in defense, and fighting when you go and you're the one that wants to fight, right? The offensive fighting and defensive fighting, there's a difference. When it's offensive, there's an army that set people, they go and they fight. But when it's defense and you're trying to save yourself, then every person that is there has to fight. And he says, in this situation, every person that is in defense, they have to fight. They have to fight to protect their land. الموضوع الثالث, the third way when jihad will be obligatory, إذا حضر الصف, when the roles of fighting, when they come together, when it's like, during that time it was sword fighting or arrows. So now they come, two armies, they come in rows. So now when the two armies, they come, and now the two armies can see each other, now everyone that's there, they have to fight. He says, إذا حضر الصف والتقى الصفان صف الكفار وصف المسلمين صار الجهاد حينئذ فرض عين. That's what I just said. When the two armies, they come together, one is disbelievers, one is believers, now everyone that's there has to fight. ولا يجوز لأحد أن ينصرف كما قال الله تعالى, and it's not allowed for anybody to turn around and run away, just like how Allah said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا لقيتم الذين كفروا زحفا فلا تولوهم الأدبار. He said, those of you who believe, when you come and you see the disbelievers and you're ready to fight, فلا تولوهم الأدبار. Do not turn around and show your backs to them, right? Because you're fighting, they can see your face. Do not turn around and run away so they cannot see your backs. ومن يولهم يومئذ دبره إلا متحدثا لقتال أو متحيزا إلى فئة فقد باء بغضب من الله. And whoever turns around on that day, the time of fighting, whoever turns around on that day, if it's not a person who is going to help somebody, or they're going to, sometimes there's a military tactic where you have to go and try to go around and try to go and flank and be organized. If it's not for that, whoever does that, فَقَدْ بَاءَ بِغَضَبٍ مِنَ اللَّهِ. He has now made it obligatory upon himself for Allah to be angry with him. He has now brought Allah's anger upon himself. وَمَأْوَاهُ جَهَنَّمَ وَبِئْسَ الْمَصِيرُ. And he said that his place will be Jahannam, and what an evil destination for that person. So when it's two roads, two sides fighting, and you turn around and run away, that is a means for Allah to be displeased with somebody and for a person to go to Jahannam. And even, this isn't mentioned here, but even in the hadith where the Prophet said, السبع الموبقات, the seven destructive, destroy sins in Islam, one of them he mentions, التولي يوم الزحف, to turn around and run away on the day of fighting. One of the seven most major sins in Islam is when the time is fighting and the person turns around and runs away. So he says, وقد جعل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم التولي يوم الزحف من السبع الموبقات. He mentioned it right here. And he says, الموضع الرابع, the fourth time, إذا احتيج إلى الإنسان. Okay. The fourth way when jihad will be obligatory individually is when the people they're in need of a person. Right? Say they're like in a group where only like a couple of individuals know how to actually fight. A couple people they know in this time, a couple people they know how to shoot a gun, or a couple people they know how to use a sword, a couple people know how to shoot an arrow. Those are the only people that know and other people don't. And obviously for people who don't know, they can't go and fight. Or else they're just gonna go and just destroy themselves and die. So the people who do know, then they have to fight. وكان الناس يحتاجون إلى هذا الرجل لاستعمال هذا السلاح الجديد مثلا. He says, for example, the people they need this person to like use this new weapon or this new way of tactic, this new tactic where they need his military intelligence, any of that. If the person knows how to do it and the people need it, then he has to go. فإنه يتعين عليه أن يجاهد وإلا لم يستنفره الإمام. So now at that point it is obligatory for him to go, even if the Imam, the Muslim leader, didn't even choose him to go. But because the people they are in need of him, and without him they're going to perish and be destroyed, then he has to go. وذلك لأن محتاج إليه, because the people they need him. ففي هذه المواطن الأربع يكون الجهاد فرض عين. وما سوى ذلك فإنه يكون فرض كفاية. And he says, in these four ways that we just mentioned right here, that's when jihad will be individually obligated upon a person. And anything that's besides this, then jihad is, like I mentioned, a communal obligation for kifaya. It's wajib upon the whole community. Okay. قال أهل العلم ويجب على المسلمين أن يكون منهم جهاد في العام مرة واحدة ويجاهد أعداء الله. Okay, he said the people of knowledge, as far as they say, it is obligatory upon the Muslims to have jihad in the year one time, where they fight the people, the enemies of Allah. Right? But this is obviously during the time where Muslims had a Khalifa. Obviously, this time we don't have a Khalifa, we don't have any of that, so we can't apply this right now. لتكون كلمة الله العليا لا لأجل أن يدافع عن الوطن من حيث إنه وطن. He said this is during the time to keep Allah's name the highest, and this isn't for to just defend your land, and this isn't just to defend your land, because he says لأن الدفاع عن الوطن من حيث هو الوطن يكون من المؤمن والكافر. No. He says because to defend your land and to defend your place of residence, this is for the Muslim and the non-Muslim. Because if we live in a land where, like for example here, where the Muslims and non-Muslims, if we're being attacked, everyone's going to fight. The Muslims going to be fighting with the non-Muslims to fight just to protect where you live. Right? That's just like logically, that's what people do. حتى الكفار يدافعون عن أوطانهم لكن المسلم يدافع عن دين الله فيدافع عن وطنه لا لأنه وطنه مثلا. He says the kuffar they fight just to protect their land. He says the Muslim he fights for the religion of Allah, and because he's fighting for the religion of Allah, he fights to protect his land and his country. Okay, because he doesn't just fight just because this is my land and I just have to protect it. He fights because if these people they come in, they take over your land, they can end up oppressing all the Muslims there, for example, or they can end up making it illegal to be Muslim, like what happened in Spain in the Spanish Inquisition. The Christians they came to take over Spain from the Muslims, and everyone that was Muslim they killed them. Right? So it's when Muslim countries are being, or like a place where Muslims are is being attacked, you're defending to defend the religion. ولكن لأنه بلد إسلامي فيدافع عن حماية للإسلام الذي حل في هذا البلد. لذلك يجب علينا في مثل هذه الظروف التي نعيشها اليوم يجب علينا أن نذكر جميع العامة بأن دعوة إلى تحرير الوطن نشبه ذلك دعوة غير مناسبة لأنه يجب أن يعبر الناس.
You see how this one is so too much details. We have 5 of this. The other one, the English one, is only 2.
Or 5 volumes?
5 volumes like this. So inshallah, I'm going to stop here today. Go on, inshallah. People have to go back to work. That's another jihad.
So go over the 5 personal. The 4.
The first one was when a person is ordered by the Muslim leader. The second one is when the Muslim land, when the land is besieged. The third time is when they're actually at the battlefield and the two sides can see each other. And the fourth time is when the people are in need of. The person has the skills, even if he isn't ordered to go, he has to go.
When you are needed.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be obligatory to you. But if you look onto this also, alhamdulillah, he has some knowledge. He know how to use that weapon. He must be here to teach people.
Right.
All right. So that.
Right.
Yeah, that.
So in a sense, Imam, just to make it clear, jihad is not just fighting, but it's for you to fight your own.
And nafs. It's going to come.
Yeah, but I just want us to make that as a point clear,
Yeah.
so that people may not misunderstand the subject matter.
Yeah.
What about bringing people into the religion? That's another form of jihad.
This is another jihad.
Yes.
That's another jihad. It's to explain to people. But la ikraha fi din. You cannot force nobody to follow your deen. You can leave everybody worship whatever he wants to worship. But you have to deliver the message to the person. You can argue with him and you can explain to him, but you cannot force the person to accept your religion. Even if you have the power to tell him, hey, you cannot worship in your church. No, you cannot do that. You have to leave them alone You cannot attack their churches. You cannot attack anybody. You have to leave them. The only thing they have to, if you conquer their country, they have to pay jizya. That jizya is not, it's not like what we, the Muslim, will pay, like zakat. That jizya, you have to pay for that, so they will protect you, just like how we pay our tax. When you pay taxes, that's why we have police. They can take our garbage. This is what what that mean, that is for, all right? That, the jizya, that's only you have to take from them. And you have to protect them. If you did not protect them, they don't have no right. You don't have no right for them to give you anything if you cannot protect them. It's for their own protection. That's why they have to pay that money. They have to contribute, because you have to pay people to protect them. They're your soldiers. You have to feed them. So they have to contribute in their own protection. But you cannot force anybody for your religion. It's not
But
permitted.
if you cannot protect, there's an instance where when they siege in Syria, because they could not protect them, they returned all the money back.
Oh, yes.
They gave them the money back, the jizya. You know, so jizya tax is for protect, is basically for protection.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك. حسبنا الانسان لفي خسر الا الذين امنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الاخره حسنه وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا مولانا انك انت التواب الرحيم. سبحان ربك رب العزه عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. You know, we used to have microphone for that.
You don't need it.